We'll
All
get him on.
right,
I'll get him.
everyone, welcome to another episode of Gurus in Training. This is our seventh episode, and I was just talking with my co-host Barry Solomon, and we're celebrating, just a little bit over a month doing this. So, how's it going for you, Barry?
It is going phenomenal for me. I am at a top secret location right now where I am not able to go on video, and I do apologize in advance to everyone because I know you just want to see my pretty face. And yes, I'm not in the witness protection program. However, I am at a secret, undisclosed location,
Well,
and
that's all right.
I'm not able to use my video at this time. But I can say this: next week I will be videoized.
Oh, wow. I think that is a new word. All right. So you know what? Today, everyone, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for taking your time out of your busy schedule and joining with us to learn more about how you can go from a broke mindset to a millionaire mindset. And today, Barry is going to focus on his story. And of course, we're going to discuss some things. But he really has some things that he wants to share that he has been learning from different mentors and things that really have impressed him, and have changed his life. So he presented, he put together this presentation for you. So we are all ready to be wowed by your presentation. So you can start whenever you're ready.
Great, thank you for that awesome introduction. I just love your introductions. They're always so inspiring.
Aw, how sweet.
Can you see?
You inspire me.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can, and I do believe everyone else can as well.
Beautiful. Okay, well, we're going to get started. We're going to jump right into this. We're going to make this 30 minutes tonight. We're going to try to make this 30 minutes tonight. Usually sometimes we go over a little bit because I like to talk sometimes. And yeah, let's get started right away. It is now 8:06, and we're going to talk about breaking out of broke with a millionaire mindset. And on this next slide, I'm going to show you and share with you some things from my own life and how I was able to break out of my transformation from a certain mindset to a millionaire mindset. If you brokenness to richness, this is where I started. I started off with a job. I was broke, and then I decided, well, you know what? It's time that I need to get a job so that I can have some money in my pocket because I love Carl's Jr. and I love In-N-Out Burger, and I'm not going to be able to eat that if I don't have money to purchase it. So I got a job so that I was able to buy certain things that I wanted. The next thing I did was I went to school because I decided that I do not like to make this small money on this job, so I wanted to get a better job. So I went to school. I did get a degree in audio engineering, but before that, I went to school. The first time I went to school, I didn't finish. And this degree that I got was later on in life. So most of us, we go through this cycle where we're broke, we get a job, we go to school to get a better job, and then once we get that better job, we end up broke at a higher level because now we have our house, or we have our car payments, and we might have some jet skis or something like that. And so our bills change. They just go up higher the more money we make. And so that is how a lot of times we'll go from brokenness to richness. Well, we think we're richer, but actually we're not. We're just broke at a higher level. For me, what happened with me is I decided that actually, before I go on, is there anything that you wanted to add to this, Lyria, the previous slides?
Oh, well, I understand where you're coming from because I think everybody kind of starts out that way. There's only one way, really, that is, I mean, there are other ways, to make money, of course, but there's this main one way that everybody seems to be funneled into. So I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Beautiful. And I need to stand up because I need to stand up to do this because I have been sitting down on the internet for too long today. So here's what I decided. I decided that I was going to start a business. And what happened with me, which is what happens with a lot of us who decide to start our own businesses, is we bring habits from our jobs, our 9 to 5 jobs, which I don't have a whole lot of experience with a 9 to 5 job. I mean, I've always had jobs. I just never kept jobs. I was always able to get a job, but I could never keep a job. So I brought those job habits into my business. And so a lot of times we do that. We decide to start our own businesses with no experience, and then we wonder what goes wrong when it fails or when we're not making the money that we think we should be making within the certain time frame that we think we should be making that money.
Or we
So
also call it a scam and we blame other things.
yes, or we call it a scam and we blame other things and other people
Uh-huh.
for our own failures, and we start pointing the fingers at everyone else. But remember this, for every one finger that you point at somebody else, there's 10 fingers pointed back at you. Heard that in a church service once. So a lot of times we are wasting money versus a business expense. So here's a mindset thing here. One example of wasting money is we might think when we start a business, we might think that um, getting a business license and getting some equipment, certain pieces of equipment, is a waste of money. When actually it's not a waste of money, it's a business expense that's necessary for your business. Or if you're a network, if you are an internet marketer, or if you're new on the internet and you want to start building a following or a list on the internet, and you know that if you set up a Aweber account or a Get Response account, which are how we build our email list of our leads, some of us might look at it as a waste of money, or I don't want to spend that money for that. But we have to look at it as a business expense instead. Or we might have an assistant versus doing everything yourself. Some people don't want to get an assistant because they're cheap and they want to do everything themselves, not realizing that our time is our most important asset. So if our business is growing and it's time to scale up, it's time to get an assistant so that we can delegate certain activities to that assistant so that we can focus on our business, which is the ideas. If you're a business owner, you're the person that's coming up with all the ideas, and you send those ideas to your assistant to do some of the groundwork, some of the implementation. And so this is where we start shifting from that 9 to 5 mindset to a business mindset. So business expense versus just spending money on something. Another thing that I wanted to add to that is, as an employee, if you have an expense, you don't get to write it off. For example, if you're an employee and you start your business and you buy a copy machine, you buy a computer, and a couple other business expenses, you're using money from your job, your after-tax dollars, to purchase those expenses. Versus if you're a business owner and you have a business, you let that business buy those things and then write those things off at the end of the year on your business taxes as a business expense. Anything that you want to add to that, Lyria?
I am all for that. I have been on a webinar where an actual tax advisor, came on and just opened my eyes to just so much that you could be getting back. And I just don't think a lot of people realize that. And it's something that when you're starting out a business, especially, like a network marketing or something online, you kind of don't even feel like it's a real business anyway because it's online, so you have to kind of convince yourself that it is a real business. But then when you do, stuff like, writing things off for taxes is kind of far from, and setting up your business in such a way that will, be able to work for you is kind of far from your mind because you're into so many other things. I mean, aside from just not having that mentality like what you're talking about, Barry, there's also just so much that you have to do, so before you get to that level where you can actually delegate and have an assistant, it's all on your shoulders, and so that might not be one of the first things that are on your mind. But I'm sure now that, April 15th has come and gone, I'm sure that it's on a lot of people's minds now. So that was a good point, Barry. Thanks for bringing that up.
Great. Now let's go to our next. So we start this business, and we come into it with our job mentality, just over broke, our employee mentality, and then our business fails. Here's what happened. What happened to me? I started a business. It was actually a lawn service business, and it's not that the business failed. It's that I decided not to do it anymore because I decided this is not what I want to do. Which is the beauty of starting a business is you can always fail and learn from your failures and restart again. Or you can decide this is not what I wanted to do. It's not what I thought. You can do what I did. Like I sold off all of my equipment, and I created a new plan. But a lot of times, a lot of people start a business and they fail, and that business fails. And then what happens is we put everything into that business, and then when it fails, we find out that we have less money for bills. Especially if you're one of those people like me who, if you're going to start a business, if I'm going to start a business, I'm going to start a business, and I'm just going to go all into it, and I'm quitting my job, and I'm just going to jump right in because I planned it, and I made plans, and I planned everything out how I was going to do it each step. And so when that business fails, we have less money for our bills. We have less money to eat out. We have less money for other expenses. And so here's what happened. Here's what happened to me, which I realized not too long ago, is when I had a lack of money, I started to develop this scarcity mindset. Now let me explain to you what I mean by a scarcity mindset. If I had $20 to my name and I spent some of that money, my mindset was, once this money is gone, that's it. I'm going to be broke the rest of my life. No more money is coming after this. I don't know where my next dollar is coming from after this. And so I would hold on to that $20 like it was the last thing that I would ever receive in life. And that's how I looked at $20. But one day I had this epiphany, and I realized that I have to change my thinking, my mindset on this $20, on this money. And so here's what I did. The next $20 that I got, every time I spent some of that money, I thought I can spend this whole entire 20. I can spend $5 of this 20. I can spend $15 of this 20, and it is going to come back right around the corner. It might be tomorrow, it might be the next day, but this 20 is going to come back double or even triple. And so I had no problem spending every last dime of that 20 because I knew that a check was going to come in the mail, or an offer was going to come up. Something was going to take place to where this 20 would be replaced 2 or 3-fold. And so that's what I mean by having that millionaire mindset, to where I don't see where I am now. The only thing I see is where I'm going. I don't see that $20 that's in my pocket now. I see that $100,000 that's in my bank account 12 months from now, because I'm doing certain things and I'm in a certain way, and I'm thinking in a certain way to where that scarcity mindset changes to an abundance mindset. What do you think, Lyria?
I think that is a very valid point, and that is something that a lot of us, small business owners, we need to get that into our heads. I was listening to, or actually, yeah, I was listening to a call, and somebody was sharing how they made a decision that was exactly that. They had a certain situation come up, and they had this money, and they were kind of holding on to it and saying, "Oh no, but if I spend this, I won't have it," and then acting like you were saying, like it's going to be their last, amount of this, funds, these amount of funds that they're ever going to get, or something like that. They were just kind of, starting to worry about it, starting to feel really bad, and all this other stuff. And then they made a conscious decision to change what they were thinking and to just freely give it, and to another thing that that this reminds me of is when you are giving your value to people. A lot of people sometimes want to hold on to they want to hold on to their best secrets and everything. No, it's mine. This is what works for me, and if everybody knows it, then I'll miss out somehow, or I'll lose out somehow. But if you give, your hands are now open, and you can receive as well. You can't receive when your hands are like this, or you can't receive when your mentality is like this. So it's just really, to me, it seems like common sense, but a lot of us were not brought up in a certain way to think like that. And I had to totally re-educate myself with books like what is it, the Cash Flow Quadrant, by Robert Kiyosaki, and Think and Grow Rich by Dr. Napoleon Hill, things like that, that really helped me to change, and that's the type of business mentality you need to have. You need to have a more open, more open mentality. So thanks so much for bringing up that point.
Yeah, conscious decision. I want to touch back on that, how you said you have to make a conscious decision where you actually have to catch yourself. Where if you're thinking, if you start a business and you think, I don't know anyone, I don't have a list, I don't have any leads, no one's going to buy from me. If you come into business with that thinking, let me share something. A person who says they can and a person who says they can't are both equally right. Because if you say that you can't do something, you're right, you will not be able to do it, period. But if you say that you can do something, you will be able to do it, period. So catching yourself when you're having that what I call stinking thinking, to where you are already shooting your plane down before you even get started, that's not having a millionaire mindset. That's having a scarcity mindset. And so that's one of the issues with a lot of people have when they think they're going to start a business. They think that or they just don't have the right mindset, and they don't have they don't have big enough goals. And for example, when McDonald's decided to start McDonald's, they didn't say that we're going to start a little hamburger stand. No, they said we are going to put a hamburger stand on every corner, on every continent, on every corner of the globe. And that's how they thought. That was their millionaire mindset. And this was what McDonald's started back in the 50s or 60s, maybe even earlier than that for all I know. But they had a certain mindset before they even started their business, before they even made that first burger. They already knew that they wanted a McDonald's on every corner on the globe. And look at where McDonald's is now. They're in every country almost.
I'm loving all these examples. These are great.
Mindset mentor. You're going to go into business on the internet, or you have a brick and mortar business, or any type of business that you are going into, or maybe some of you are already inside of a business, and you might be thinking that you can't do it, or you might be thinking, or you might be hitting a roadblock, or you might have a challenge in your business, and if you don't have the right kind of mindset, you'll just quit. You'll just fold up and head for the hills because you don't have the resources, the brain resources available to get around that, or the tenacity to get around that challenge or that mountain or that wall that you hit. The Inner Circle audios, I listen to that every day. I listen to the Inner Circle audios, and I don't listen to it just once. I listen to it twice. We have a Monday night call every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to send you guys the link to that call. And after that call, the next day, if you miss it, you can listen to the replay. Well, not only do I get on that call, but I listen to the replay every day, all week, until the next Empower Monday call. And so that is also part of my Inner Circle. There's a product in our company called the Inner Circle Audio, and I listen to those every day. And the only reason why I'm able to come on and do these hangouts every day, or speak the way I speak, or come up with some of the examples that I come up with, is because I listen to these audios. And that's why I'm able to have this millionaire mindset, because every person on those audios are already millionaires. And those are my mentors. And even though that I'm not in front of them physically, just hearing them speak through those speakers that you're hearing me speak through, just listening to that will change your mindset into a millionaire mindset. Oh, what really happened in Miami? Very quickly, I'm going to briefly share something with you guys. And no one knows this but me and the person who it happened to. This is an event that we had in January. And I had no idea when they announced these events, that event, I had no idea how I was going to get there, and I had no idea how I was going to get back. And I'm not going to use this time to tell the whole story, but I actually have some videos on YouTube that will go in detail that explains some of the story of what took place. But here's what happened. When I got there, I didn't have a hotel. I didn't have a place to sleep. Not one night did I have a place to sleep. Here's what happened. Here's the thing. Me and this guy, we hooked up. Neither one of us had a place. The first night we walked down the street, and we slept at this little park down the street on the grass that night. The next night, we found this little room that had these tables, and an idea that I had. I went and I got him. I said, "Come over here. I want to show you something in this room. I think I found a place where we could sleep tonight." These tables had these tablecloths, and these tablecloths hung all the way to the floor. It was like some kind of room where some of the volunteers went, but all the volunteers had went home, and it was open. We went in there, and we slept under those tables that night. And no one knows this. This is the first time that I'm telling someone about it, and no one knows except the people on this call about that night. And we slept under those tables. And the next morning, it's so funny because the guy who I was with, he slept across the way under these other tables. And there was some employee was running through there that morning, and I woke up and I look over under the table and I see him standing there. I see him there, and he's holding the table as if he's holding it for dear life. And then when that employee left the room, he comes from under the table and he comes over to me and he says, Barry, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. So he's all paranoid, and I'm like wiping my mouth, wiping my eyes. All right, man, okay. So I get my stuff from under the table. He gets his stuff, and we hightail it out of there because he didn't want to get caught under the table sleep. And this is the first time I'm telling you guys this story. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the reason why we got to Miami, the reason why we went there broke, why we went there without having a place to stay, because we wanted to learn how to develop the millionaire mindset. We wanted to learn how to have a transformation and a breakthrough in our lives. And I know that part of the reason why you are listening to me through your laptop speakers or your cell phone speakers or your whatever kind of speakers you're listening to, the reason why you are listening to me right now is because I went to that event. And the reason why I'm able to speak the way I speak now is because I went to that event and I listened to these audios. These audios are available. It's one of our products. Mindset mentor. These mentors on these audios was at that event. And I had a transformation at that event. And part of that transformation is the reason why I'm on this webinar now. And the reason why I came up with this idea to have a mindset webinar. Lyria, is there anything that you wanted to add to that?
No, that is the first time I heard that story as well. Oh my goodness. Wow. Now, I've heard other stories of other people coming to the event just to make sure that they get there. Actually, one that really stands out is someone who you listen to a lot, Kiala Kanai. I know you've heard his story because he was talking about how he didn't have a place when he went to his first, events, and now he's what is he doing now, Barry? Have you listened to his Inner Circle audio?
I haven't heard his Inner Circle audio, but I've seen some of his Facebook posts, and I think he's got he's recruiting, like he's sponsoring 30 people a month now or something like that, or something crazy out there like that.
Yes, his numbers are blowing up, and he says it's directly related to getting to those events. Having that, like you said, having that mindset, having that, I'm not going to quit until I get what I'm looking for, until I get what I am going after, until I fulfill my dreams, and making yourself do whatever needs to be done to get there is part of it, a lot of people want to skip that part because it's not too pretty. Like the guy, is trying to hold on to the table. I don't want anybody to see me doing this. But, that's part of it, because he has to have that story to tell. He has to remember those times. He has to feel that, and that's what propels you. That's one of the things that keeps you committed, that keeps you in it, so, and then of course on top of that, listening to, as you said, those millionaire mentors that were there, that was That was great.
And also, it's not only about having a mindset, millionaire mindset. It's more so about empowering or teaching or showing other people through your story, through your struggle, how to have that millionaire mindset. Let's look at Lawrence Tam, for example.
That is true.
Lawrence Tam worked in a cubicle in some company, and I remember listening on one of the audios where he came to it's another guy by the name of Tony Rush in our company, and they used to work together. Not Tony Rush, it was somebody else. It's another guy, but I don't remember his name. But they used to work together, and he and Lawrence used to go to him and say, "Hey, I think I'm going to get fired because I'm using too much internet." Because he was building his company, he had not yet. Lawrence Tam he's a millionaire right now, and he's been in the I don't remember exactly how long he's been in the company. I'd say maybe a year or two, and he's a millionaire right now. But before he became a millionaire, when he was in that cubicle, when he was working that job, when he was using too much internet because he was building his internet business, he was already had a millionaire mindset before he actually became a millionaire. And then I think about Tracy Walker, who her house was in foreclosure. She was in real estate. When the real estate market crashed, she was smack dab in the middle of it. And they went from doing they only did $1 million homes or something like that, but they went from doing maybe 6 deals or 10 deals a month to doing 1 or 2 deals every 2 or 3 months. And so her house ended up in foreclosure. She ended up on food stamps. And all these things happened while she was building her business. While she was going through all that, she maintained and developed and cultivated her millionaire mindset, which is the mindset that enabled her to get through all that. And then there's Justin Varengia, who started out broke. Justin Varengia, him and his wife Dee, they moved around. They moved to China. And they had no idea how they were going to get back, because they wanted to travel the world, and they wanted to see the world. They wanted to see different things. But imagine going to China, and a country where you don't speak the language, that's thousands of miles away from your home, and you have no idea how you're going to get back. But all you know is that you're going to build a business, you're going to succeed. They started to look for ways to succeed on the internet, and now he's a millionaire within our company now from the internet. And so these are some people who actually transformed into that millionaire mindset. And guess what? They listen to those inner circle audios as well. And they used their stories, and they centered their stories around products that actually help people transform, because this company it's not a network marketing company or anything like that. It's actually a personal development and transformation company disguised as a network marketing company, because it's all about transforming people. It's all about developing people, developing those mindsets. Same mindset that Lawrence Tam, Tracy Walker, Justin Varengia, Lyria, and myself is constantly cultivating on a daily basis. And without that mindset, we are not able to reach the next level in our businesses. And so if you're on this call tonight and you're listening, and you are trying to, you might have had some of that stinking thinking that I talked about earlier. And you might not have had that some of those conscious decisions that Lyria mentioned earlier. That all can change tonight. It only takes one split second to make a decision, and your whole life can change. Lyria, did you want to add anything to that? Because we're at the 30-minute mark, 39 minutes to be exact, and I want to stay within the sort of within the time frame tonight.
Right, I got you. No, not really too much. Just wanted to, extend the offer to anyone who wants to come and join us because we, as the show is titled, are gurus in training. Now, we understand that, gurus are looked down upon in the marketing industry, but we're going for more the principle behind it. We are going to be earning as top earners. And we are going to do all it takes to get there. Having these hangouts and encouraging and inspiring and, just sharing all of the value that we get with you all is part of the process. So you can in turn learn from us, go and do it yourself, and then teach somebody else to do the same thing that you just did. That's one of the processes that we follow is learn, do, and teach. And the more that you give to others, you will find that they want to give back to you. You will find that they will want to join you. You'll find that they want to follow you. You'll find that you will just become irresistible. And that's just because of your willingness to have your hand open instead of having your hand closed and saying, no, I'm not going to share my, my new technique that I learned of how to market, or no, I'm not going to share this story. Having your hand open and being willing to be vulnerable and share and open, share yourself, your story, like Barry so eloquently did. I love that story, Barry. That was great. You can do the same thing for those in your following or for those in your target market. You can do the same thing. We can help you to learn these marketing techniques, these strategies, but most important, we can help you with getting your mindset in the right place. So we just want to be able to let you know that there is help, out there. As a business owner, you do need both. You need to have the nuts and bolts of how to do something, and you also need to have your, the figurative, your thoughts, into what you're doing. And we know how to do that. So just wanted to extend that offer to you, and there's a link to click. Right now, it's over here, but if you're watching this on replay, it will be down below, and you can join us. You can either join Barry or you can join with me. Whoever you resonate with the most, whoever you just identify with, and you can also, hit us up and ask questions. We send out a replay to all of those who have signed up for the webinar, and you can communicate with us through email in that way. We will send you the link as well as give you the option to just kind of chew our ear off if you have any other questions or concerns or comments. So we just want to thank you so much for joining with us. Barry, did you have any parting words?
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you as well. Thank you for joining us. We know you could have been anywhere else on this Friday night. We're glad that you came and invested some time with us. We'll see you guys next week at our next hangout.
That's right. Bye-bye.